And now, Signature Dish, a WETA original series.
Today on Signature Dish, we're getting a taste of the Caribbean.
Well, cheers to that.
Unbelievable.
Outrageous.
After starting with a pair of island classics.
That meat is so flavorful, so tender.
It is seasoned to the bone.
Right now, I'm gonna break down a signature mohawk.
A pork chop with a mohawk.
Right, it's a little punk, a little edgy.
We'll try a curry dish stacked with flavor.
This is stuffed with butter, bathed in butter. It gets ridiculous.
Wow. I'm Seth Tillman, WETA producer and DC native, and I love good food. That's why I'm traveling to restaurants across the DMV. And each stop, looking for the one thing you just gotta try. That signature dish.
It's hard to describe the food of the Caribbean as anything other than a giant melting pot. A cuisine forged by centuries of colonization, forced migration, and trade, mixing with an abundance of fresh produce and unique ingredients. And few flavors are more instantly recognizable as Caribbean than jerk chicken. That's why I'm first off to DC's Brightwood Park neighborhood to visit Andreen's Caribbean and Soul Food and get a taste of this Jamaican classic.
I was born in Kingston, Jamaica, but I came here when I was 10 years old. Jamaican food, it's a culinary experience. We had indigenous people, then you had the British, you had the Asian immigrants, they brought along curry. And Africans had a way of preparing one-pot meal, and that's where soup comes from. And the Arab culture that brought along the flatbread. So when you mix all that in, it just makes sense why Jamaican meals are so flavorful. So now, of course, we use a combination of it to prepare delightful meals. The decision to open Andreen's, that was just pure love. Mike, my partner of 33 years, he's from the Montego Bay area. Mike has always cooked. He did construction for around 15 years. I remember he came to me and he said, Tina, that's my nickname. He said, Tina, if I'm gonna work this hard, I might as well do it for myself. I really wanna open a restaurant.
In 2006, Andreen and Mike opened a carryout spot at the corner of Kennedy and 3rd Streets Northwest, expanding to sit-down service in 2014. As I head to meet Andreen and Mike, I can't say with certainty I've ever had authentic Jamaican jerk.
Mike.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Andreen,
Nice to meet you.
thank you so much for having me. And wow, look at these beautiful peppers and this chicken. I can tell whatever this is gonna be, it's gonna be good. What are you making today?
Well, Mike is making our signature dish, jerk chicken wings. They're extremely popular here.
Well, I've had this stuff called jerk chicken before, but I'm not sure I've ever had the real deal. But, I don't even know, what is jerk?
Jerk is seasoned chicken that's been done for hundreds of years in Jamaica. It was started by the Arawak Indians. It was done on charcoal. So now jerk is so popular in Jamaica. It's done on side streets, it's done in the markets, it's done at home. And believe it or not, Scotch bonnet really brings the flavor out.
Well, Scotch bonnet pepper is not something I know a whole lot about. This is a key part of jerk seasoning?
Yes, it is. Scotch bonnet, it's cultivated in Jamaica, and it has more like a sweet aroma. When you smell it, you might try to take a bite, but please be careful.
All right. I think I know better than to take a bite, but
That's hot.
I can imagine.
Jamaicans put Scotch bonnet in everything. It's in beef patties, it's in peppered shrimp, it's in goat soup, and definitely it's gonna be in the jerk wingette.
Well, that's the version I'm excited to try. So tell me, how are you gonna put this all together?
Mike is gonna start by adding the dry ingredients. First, he's gonna use the paprika, then the garlic powder, the season all. He's getting the seasoning into the meat.
Mike, you had this recipe, is this passed
Yeah.
down in your family?
Yeah, my parents used to do it all the time.
When we sold out of wings, we're in trouble. I've been called names after saying wings are sold out. And it just tickles me.
Well, I'll be nice.
Now we're gonna add our browning sauce. one of Jamaica's favorite seasoning.
I like how you guys work as a team.
And now he's gonna work it in. So next, we're gonna add the wet rub. It has allspice, tad bit of brown sugar, scallion, onion, and definitely it has Scotch bonnet.
So it's gonna have some
Yeah.
heat too.
Yes, as well as a sweet flavor.
Hey, Mike, go easy there. You do not mess around.
Mike is seasoning this chicken to the bone.
And these poor wings, I mean, they are just drowning in
Yes.
the sauce. Just the aroma coming out of that bowl.
Oh my God.
What's the next step?
The next step, they're gonna be placed on a pan and then placed in the oven. And then, once they're flipped, they should be ready within 2 hours. The sauce that's left in the pan, we use it as flavor, our own signature house sauce. And to complete the sauce, we use pimento, garlic, thyme, scallion, and of course, we use Scotch bonnet. And then that is poured on top of the jerk wings. Well, Seth, thank you for stopping by in Dreams today. We have some classic Jamaican items. We have black cake, we have cocoa bread, and of course, it's all about the jerk.
I can't wait to try it. And I see, oh my God, Mike's coming out with that right now.
Yes.
Look at those
Yes,
wings.
yes.
All right, and I see the sauce in the middle. Should I dip?
Yes, you
Okay.
sure can.
All right, I'm going in. Outrageous. That is so good.
If you guys were not here, I'll be chewing on my bone.
I'm gonna devour the rest of this too. And it's spicy too.
Yeah.
You know? Spicy, but so flavorful. Wow.
And still have that sweet flavor to it.
I'm glad to see we got a whole plate full of these left to go.
Now you see why I do all the talking, right?
You did talk.
Mike is more hands-on.
I know there's kind of this debate with jerk wings about whether it has to be grilled, but in 2 hours in the oven, this meat is clearly falling off the bone. Why'd you decide to go that way, Mike?
Yeah, when I cook it in the oven, you know, it's done pretty good because sometimes you put it on the grill, it cooks so fast, it kind of burns.
I observe that when the jerk is done on the grill, the outside is done, but the inside tends to be sort of rare. However, once it's oven baked for 2 hours, it is seasoned. The flavor goes to the bone. Make no mistake.
No mistakes made. And I also know that, like, up on the sign, you know, it's Andreen's Soul Food as well. Do you see a lot of crossover between Jamaican food and traditional American soul food?
Oh yeah, definitely. And of course, that came about because of the African slave trade. And the seasonings, the preparation, the food items, it's just passed down from one generation to the next.
Well, I'm glad, Mike. I'm glad you brought your recipes here.
Yes,
I'm glad you're the man in the kitchen. I think my introduction to real jerk cooking. So thank you guys so much for having me here today.
And thank you.
While the Caribbean population in the DMV has steadily grown in recent years, the number of Puerto Ricans living in DC alone has more than doubled in the past decade. That's why I'm next making my way to La Famosa, an all-day eatery in the bustling Navy Yard neighborhood.
I've lived in the DC area almost 20 years now. And when I first arrived, I could literally maybe count 5 Puerto Ricans on a hand that I would bump into just through daily life. The population has exploded. The cuisine of Puerto Rico is something that's obviously near and dear to my heart. It's a very humble food. You know, it's a food definitely rooted in poverty. My memories all come from just hanging out with my family, my grandparents in the kitchen, you know, whether it was just eating just roots, different viandas that we call, rice, beans, simple stews. You're gonna find some similarities between Cuban food, Dominican food, Puerto Rican food, but they're all very unique cuisines in their own right. But what I wanna be very clear about is that our food is Puerto Rican inspired. A lot of that inspiration, a lot of those criollo flavors, but I also add my own twist on it.
I'm heading to La Famosa today to try a rustic Puerto Rican dish with a modern flair.
Chef,
Hey, Seth, how you doing?
doing pretty well. And look at this beautiful pork chop right here. What's this gonna make today?
Well, this is going to be the start to our signature dish here at La Famosa. It's a chuleta can-can, or at least our interpretation of a chuleta can-can. So we're going to start off with a beautiful piece of Berkshire hog, Frenched, nice fat cap still on it. We use a technique called sous vide, using an immersion circulator. And we actually cook the pork chop in a water bath at a constant temperature of about 165 degrees for a little bit under 2 hours. What that's going to allow is that the chop is going to be cooked evenly throughout while still retaining a lot of moisture. And then right now what I'm going to do, Seth, is I'm going to break down and give you a signature mohawk, which you find on all chuleta can-can, whether it be my version here or on the island. And the whole reason the chuleta can-can is named chuleta can-can is because it's supposed to resemble the flared dress of a can-can dancer.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
A pork chop with a mohawk. I
A
like
pork chop with a mohawk, right? It's a little punk, a little edgy.
so punk. And maybe help when you cook it, some of the fat also render out. But hopefully there'll be some left over when you're done.
There will be.
So what are some of the other things that will go with the chuleta?
So this will be plated with arroz and habichuelas, which are rice and beans, and then fried plantains called tostones. So this is a green plantain, starchy, sugar hasn't been built up in it yet. Okay, so once it's peeled, it looks like this. We're gonna take it, we're gonna fry it once, smash it, and this is basically the start of a toston. This will be fried once again, and this will also be an accompaniment to the chuleta can-can.
So we got a pork chop and some tostones, some rice and beans. This is just some good kind of comfort Puerto Rican cooking right here.
Correct, and pork, being an island, for whatever reason, whether it be Puerto Rico or Hawaii, we're very pork-centric.
Got it. And so now that this has been cooked sous vide, what's the next step for this pork chop?
Next step is we're going to put it into a double fry basket. Now we cook it mohawk side down so we get the chicharron nice and crispy. So basically it'll be a partial cook there. Then we'll drop it fully into the fryer to complete it and get it all nice and golden brown. And then we'll drop the tostones to accompany it, and then we'll plate.
Well, Chef, thank you so much for showing me the kitchen. I see what looks like maybe some Puerto Rican rum right here.
Yeah, you're gonna drink the Puerto Rican tiki made with Lodonku.
The Puerto Rican tiki. Well, cheers to that. Oh, wow. You were not kidding about that mohawk.
Yeah, it's topped off with a little bit of mojo criollo, which is just garlic slowly simmered in olive oil, salt and pepper, some spices.
Get a little bit of the chicharron with a bite here.
Good?
That's dynamite, Chef. That mojo on top and that crispy texture, but the meat inside is still so tender. Hasn't dried out at all. That's an excellent, excellent bite right there.
That's the great thing about technique, you know. If you do it right, you keep that moist, juicy, flavorful pork chop, and it'll just crisp up that skin and that chicharron.
I'm guessing this is a little different than how it would be prepared if we were, say, back in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, so in Puerto Rico, the traditional can-can is gonna be huge. It's gonna be like almost like a foot and a half chop. And so imagine the mohawk going from like here to here. I've kind of realized that for the consumer here in DC and slightly more Anglo palate, the lean meat to fat ratio had to be a little bit different. And so we started working on this version or this option for chuleta can-can, and we're really proud of it.
It's weird because it doesn't have the acidity that maybe you get like with the vinegar to cut the fat, but yet like the garlic, you know, it plays so nicely with that fat.
Yeah, so like, you know, you've got that allium family action going on there. It's gonna help kind of cut the richness, and that's why garlic plays off of it very well.
And I gotta try one of these tostones as well. Got a little more of the garlic mojo on it. Mojo criolla?
Mojo criollo.
Mojo criollo.
Puerto Rican French fry.
And the mojo plays really nicely with the plantains. I know for a long time, kind of Caribbean food around here, maybe people just kind of lump all the islands together, but do you feel like maybe people are now kind of seeking out kind of authentic Puerto Rican flavors?
I think people are definitely open to more authentic or I guess regional and sub-regional flavors. I think that, you know, over the last 10, 15 years, DC had always a good representation of what Latin American cuisine is, but it was very frequently kind of mashed up together, El Salvadorian, Guatemalan, Mexican, kind of all in one spot. You know, I encountered it once in a while, you know, someone would come over and say, hey, do you have pico de gallo? And I could take it two ways, right? I could be like super upset and offended, or I can just take it as just people haven't experienced this type of cuisine yet. And we're happy to introduce it to them. But, you know, we definitely want to bring, you know, what the cocina criolla is, and that's what we call the cuisine of Puerto Rico, cocina criolla. Obviously, it's my own take, so once in a while I get a little pushback that it's not like abuela used to make, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's like what my abuela used to make, so I feel okay about that as well.
Like I said, dynamite cut of pork. Best I've had in a long time, so thank you so much.
My pleasure.
My last stop leads me back to the Caribbean food I know best. It's been over 2 decades now, but in college, I studied for a semester in Trinidad and Tobago. That's me first arriving in Port of Spain to study at the University of the West Indies, or UWI for short, and here, celebrating in the run-up to Carnival. I loved the food in Trinidad, and that's part of the reason I'm so excited to visit Cane on H Street Northeast, a restaurant and rum shop co-owned by Chef Peter Prime and his sister Janine.
We both were born and raised in Trinidad and Tobago, the southernmost island in the Caribbean, and lived in Port of Spain, an area really known for diverse and vibrant cuisine, and we were really anxious to bring that to DC. Trinidad is known for its liming culture. We take socializing with friends over good food really seriously. So we have our own special word for it. There's a lot of debate about the origins of the term liming. Still not sure where that came from, but that's a really central part of the culture. And you know, a lot of liming happens in rum shops in Trinidad, and we really wanted to recreate that vibe.
Islands are these melting pots, crucibles where, you know, things come together. We had a unique combination of Indian indentured laborers, African slaves, the Amerindians that were there before, and you know, then there was an Asian population that came in as well. And we just created our own food with the products that were there. It's different on all the islands. You know, you can follow the thread and see with the similarities, but it evolved uniquely in Trinidad.
Trinidad's cuisine is heavily influenced by the island's large East Indian population, descended from the indentured laborers who were brought over from India to harvest sugarcane after the African slave trade was abolished in the 1830s. I'm heading to Cane to meet Peter and learn more about their Indian-influenced signature dish.
Chef.
Hey, good to see you.
Good
Welcome.
to see you as well. Oh man, I am happy to be here, and I am super happy about looking at these beautiful colors. Some heat coming off this griddle. What's all this gonna make today?
So we're gonna put together our curried beef paratha tiffin box. This is part of our Indian heritage in Trinidad. This is one of the prevalent styles of roti on the country. We do the paratha, which you're gonna see here, and we also do our dal puri style, which is stuffed with ground split peas, and it's healthy and flavorful. This is stuffed with butter and deliciousness, so it's bathed in butter. So it's flaky and delicious, but it's really functional as well. That's how you eat your curries, you know. This is the perfect utensil. You get sauce, you get whatever combination of the curries that you want.
So I see this beef, and I see what looks like curried potatoes, and what's this, Peter?
So yeah, so over here we have curry chana or garbanzos.
So we got 3 different curries.
Yeah, the thing about Trinidadian curries, they're mostly based on the Madras style of curry, and we bring out the different nuances and the different ingredients by, you know, how much curry we use, the intensity, and how we cook them.
It all looks and smells so good, but how is this actually gonna come together as a dish?
So what we do here at Cane is we put it together in our tiffin box. You know, tiffins, I've seen those growing up as a kid. You see it, Indian laborers using it on the continent just to get lunch. It's really practical, it keeps food warm. And yeah, I mean, we just thought it's a fun package to deliver our version of curry beef.
A nice shiny lunchbox there for your meal. I like that. So, are you gonna cook up a paratha here?
I am.
I'm gonna watch you work your magic.
We just start off with a bunch of ghee.
Like you said, lots of butter.
Lots of butter. And for a reason that I don't really understand as a chef, but it's just been passed on. You have to butter it before you even flip it. I guess it seals in any steam and it starts to separate a little bit.
This thing just glistens.
Very happy.
It's reflective, all that butter.
Look at me.
Why not put a little more on?
Right, that's. So the ghee, the butter is cultured. It's not just straight clarified butter.
Okay.
And yeah, you know, there's a little tang and I think some healthy bacteria. So it's not, you know, it helps you digest it. It's not too.
Sure, we'll call
not
it.
as bad as it.
We'll call it healthy. Why not? Whatever you have to tell yourself.
So in Trinidad we call it a bust up shot, which is busted up shirts. Pushing it together so that you can get the edges cooked all the way through. Then I'm gonna chop it up some more.
Oh man, let it rest.
Let it rest.
Well, it's tough that it needs to rest and cool down because I want to just sort of try it right now.
We got you, man. We have some that I just cooked a little bit ahead.
Oh man, buttery, flaky. That's so good. And if that's just the bread alone, I can't wait to see what it's gonna taste like when we're sopping up all these curries and using that as our fork. So I will let you get to assembling the tiffin box, and I can't wait to try it with you and Janine back at the table.
Awesome. See you out there, man.
Thanks, Chef. Janine, Peter, I've been trying a lot of great dishes all around the DC area, but none have come with this type of presentation. Can't wait to see what's hiding inside those tiffin boxes.
No more waiting. Let me break this up.
And of course, it would not be a lime without some rum. So this is Trinidadian rum, of course.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
All right. We got some beautiful paratha right there. The hair curry potato, garbanzos, and then our curried beef.
And no knife and fork necessary?
No knife and fork necessary, man. You know what I mean?
Put these aside.
We have some bread. Please dig in, enjoy.
So, yeah, so it's the beef dish, so I gotta start with the beef here.
It's my favorite.
Butter after butter after butter, mixed with that beef that's just falling apart.
I'm gonna go for a little,
Super well seasoned.
a little composed bite, maybe.
No, a composed bite.
You know, you try all of them. I love how the potato plays off of the beef. You know, just a little bit of the beef gravy. You know, that's one of my favorite bites. Which, you know, you mix it up, and you know, every curry's a little different. When you go with the flow, you know, you make your experience every bite. You know.
So if you find that one perfect bite, you just keep chasing it. If you're seeking, you just keep trying it.
You keep mixing it up, you know, and it's all good. You know, it's like there aren't any bad bites. You know, is the upside.
Okay, I'll try a little combo bite here. A little potato and beef. Why not?
Yeah. Well, don't be shy, you know. Lick your fingers, and that's how you clean them off. There you go. It's
Mark of a non-trunny if you're using napkins and forks.
hey, you wasting curry, man.
Yeah, and Janine, what's your favorite bite here?
Well, I really like the combo of the beef, the potatoes, and the chana. But I really like to make sure I include some of the condiments. Trinidadians are really religious about their condiments.
Well, Janine, Peter, this tiffin box, this beef roti, so good.
Thanks for letting me line with you guys for a little while, and can't wait to come back.
Anytime, Cedric.
Cheers.
Thank you.
To find out more about great food in the Washington metro area, visit WETA.org/signature dish.